Series, an introduction. Our objectives are to introduce the notion of a series, to demonstrate properties of a series, and to discuss convergence of a series. Some materials for review include sequences and sigma notation. What is a series? If the sequence a sub n from n equal 1 to infinity is an infinite collection of numbers, the expression sigma from n equal 1 to infinity of a sub n equal to a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 and so on is called an infinite series or just a series. The numbers a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, and so on are called terms. The index of summation is the index on the terms. Here's an example of expanding a series. Write the first three terms of the following series. Series from n equal 1 to infinity of n divided by 2 to the n. We could also have the series from n equals 0 to infinity of 4 times the ratio of 2/5 to the nth power. We could also have a series from n equal 1 to infinity of 3. So for our first series, from n equal 1 to infinity of n divided by 2 to the nth power, we have 1 over 2 to the first, plus 2 over 2 to the second power, plus 3 over 2 to the third power. In our second example, the series from n equals 0 to infinity of 4 times 2/5 to the nth power, we end up with 4 times 2/5 to the 0 power, plus 4 times 2/5 to the first power, plus 4 times 2/5 to the second power. In our last example, from n equal 1 to infinity of 3, we have 3 plus 3 plus 3, and we keep going. So what is a partial sum? Well, a partial sum as a phrase by itself implies it is part of a sum. When adding values in accordance with place value in elementary school, you may have been asked to determine partial sums. You would then combine these partial sums into a full sum. And an example below might be something that you saw in primary school. We have 123 plus 89. Now, when I add the ones columns, 3 plus 9, I get 12, and this would be the partial sum of the ones. When I add the tens columns, which is 2 and 8, when I add those numbers together, I get 10. So I shift that sum over to start lining up with the tens column, and I have 10 placed out there. Now I've covered up the ones column with this blue oval so that we don't misalign these numbers in accordance to place value. Now the last number, the 100s place value, doesn't have anything to combine with, so we're just going to leave it be for right now. When I add the 12 vertically with the 10 that I've staggered, I have 2 plus a blank, which is just 2. We have 1 plus 0, which is 1. And then in the last column with the hundreds, I take that 1 in the original number, 123, and I add it to the one that carried over from adding 2 and 8 together, and I add those together and I get 2. So 123 plus 89 is equal to 212. And this is kind of what it means for partial sums. We had the sums of the ones columns, we had the sums of the tens columns, and we combine those partial sums and to get the full sum of 212 for this example. But in series analysis, we have an infinite sum, so we must employ calculus tools. The sequence of partial sums, denoted capital S sub n from n equal 1 to infinity, is defined as the sequence that is formed by taking a summation of the first n terms in the series. So the terms of the sequence would appear as capital S1 is just equal to A1. Capital S2 is equal to A1 plus A2. capital S3 would be equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3. And capital S4 would be A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. In this example, we're going to find a sequence of partial sums. So we're going to find the sequence of the first 4 partial sums of the series, n equal 1 to infinity of n divided by 2 to the nth power. So we're going to proceed as follows. The first value in the sequence is going to be S1, which is what happens when we plug in 1 for n into our series terms, and we have 1 over 2 to the first, which is just 1/2. Our sequence of the first 2 partial sums is going to be S1 and S2. Well, S1 is 1/2. S2 is going to be 1/2 plus 2/4, which equals 1. So S2 is going to be the sequence 1/2, 1. Now the sequence of the first 3 partial sums is going to be S1, S2, S3. S3 is equal to 1/2 plus 2/4, the first 2 terms in the series, plus 3/8, which would be the third term in the series. And when I add them all together, I get 11/8. Thus, we have for our sequence of partial sums for the first 3 terms, 1/2, 1, and then 11/8. Our sequence of partial sums for the first 4 sums is calculated by taking S1, S2, S3, which we've already done, and then we have S4, which is equal to 4/16 plus the previous summation, which would result in 26 over 16. So to get 26 over 16, we take the sum of the first 4 terms, 1/2 plus 2/4 plus 3/8 plus 4/16. But our sequence of partial sums for the first 4 terms is 1/2, 1, 11/8, and 26 over 16. So this is how you can find a sequence of partial sums. Now, when we have sequences, we're going to talk about convergence. So if the sequence of partial sums for an infinite series has a limit that's less than infinity, we'll call that limit capital S. And we'll call the sequence of partial sums the sequence of capital S sub n, where n goes from 1 to infinity. So if the sequence of partial sums has a limit, then the series converges and is said to have sum capital S. So if whatever the limit of the sequence of partial sums for the infinite series is, that is what the series is going to sum to, provided it's finite value. If the limit as n approaches infinity of S sub n equals infinity, or if that limit as n approaches infinity of Sn does not exist, then the series diverges. So here's an example. Consider the series from k equal 1 to infinity of 1 divided by the quantity k times k plus 1. Determine if the series converges or diverges. So we're going to begin with the partial sums. Okay. S1 is going to be equal to 1 over 1 times 2, which is 1/2. S2 is going to be S1 and S2 together. We know S1 is 1/2. We know S2 can be found by adding the first 2 terms of the series, and we end up with 4/6. The partial sum for the first 3 terms is S1, S2, S3. We've already found S1 and S2. So S3 is going to be the sum of the first 3 terms in the series, which results in 9/12. So our sequence of partial sums for the first 3 partial sums is 1/2, 4/6, 9/12. And finally, our sequence of partial sums for the first 4 sums, S1, S2, S3, S4, where S4 is equal to the sum of the first 4 terms, which we get at 48/60. We have 1/2, and then we have 2/3, the reduction of 4/6. We have 3/4 next, the reduction of 9/12, and we have 4/5, which is the reduction of 48 over 60. So this is the sequence of partial sums that we have started to develop. Now, the question is, what does the summation come out to? Does it converge? Does it diverge? What does it do? So we're going to do a little bit of analysis here, and we're going to say our general partial sum term appears as n divided by n plus 1. Now, you can continue to sum out the partial sums for more terms, but you will find that this is actually the case. Now, remember, for convergence, we're going to take the limit of the sequence of partial sums as n goes to infinity. When I take this limit, I get 1. So the sequence of partial sums converges to 1, and therefore, by the definition of convergence, the series is going to sum to 1. So the sum of the series is 1. Now, there is an alternative method. Suppose we could not determine a closed form for the partial sums. Maybe it was too difficult, maybe we couldn't see it, something along those lines there. In this example, we may also use partial fractions to rewrite our terms as 1 over n minus 1 over n plus 1. So writing out the partial sums using this new formulation, we have partial sums that look like 1 over 1 minus 1 half plus 1 half, minus 1/3 plus 1/3, minus 1/4 plus 1/4. And that keeps going all the way up to plus 1 over n minus 1 minus 1 over n plus 1 over n minus 1 divided by n plus 1. Now, all of the middle terms are going to cancel off because they're exactly the same magnitude but opposite in sign. And this leaves us with a partial sum of just 1 minus 1 divided by n plus 1. This is known as telescoping. Telescoping is a tool used to eliminate middle terms in a sequence of partial sums to simplify the arithmetic and determine a possible pattern of the sequence of partial sums. Now, we can take the limit as n approaches infinity of this description of the partial sums, and we still get 1. The harmonic series is a very popular series, and a series of the form from n equal 1 to infinity of 1 over n, which happens to be equal to like 1 plus 1 half plus 1/3, etc. This is called a harmonic series. The harmonic series diverges. Even though the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 over n equals 0, the series still diverges. This series serves as a counterexample to the notion that if the limit of the terms goes to 0, the series converges. This is not the case. Remember, the limit of the terms of a series, okay, they can converge or diverge, but with a series, you are adding these numbers together. So you have to remember that operation as well. A geometric series is also a popular series. A series of the form from k equals 0 to infinity of ar to the k, or a series of the form k equal 1 to infinity of ar to the k minus 1 power, which is equal to a plus a times r squared, and you can keep going. Factor out the a, and this series can be rewritten as a times the quantity, 1 plus r squared plus r cubed, etc., etc., where a is not equal to 0. This would be a geometric series of ratio r. So if r in absolute value is less than 1, the series converges, and the sum is actually equal to a, that multiplicative factor, divided by 1 minus r. If the absolute value of r is greater than or equal to 1, the series diverges. So note the difference between the geometric sequence and the geometric series. The sequence converges when r equals 1, but the series diverges when r equals 1. Let's look at another example here. This one has a repeating decimal. So we're going to write 0.09 repeating as a fraction using series. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write 0.09 repeating as 0.09 plus 0.0009 plus 0.000009, and we're going to keep going in this pattern. Now 0.09 is the same as 9 over 100, and 0.0009 is 9 over 10,000, and 0.000009 is 9 over 1,000,000. So I'm going to rewrite those fractions so the denominators are powers of 10. And then I'm going to factor out 9 over 10 squared. And that's going to leave me with 1 plus 10 squared plus 10 to the fourth, and I can keep going. And this enables me to rewrite this infinite sum as a series, where I have the series from k equal 1 to infinity of 9 over 100 times 1 over 100 to the k minus 1 power. And notice that the power, k minus 1, and the index on the summation, k equals 1, is the appropriate match that I need for geometric series. So the ratio for this geometric series is 1 over 100. The a value is 9 over 100. Since the common ratio in absolute value is less than 1, this series converges. So we can use the sum formula for finding its sum, where we have 9 over 100 divided by the quantity 1 minus 1 over 100, which is equal to 9 over 99, which reduces to 1/11th. So the fraction form of 0.09 repeating is 1/11th. Our next video is going to talk about some theorems in arithmetic with series. So thank you for your time and attention.